Shubha Prabhat, Namaskar, welcome to a subject dear to our dancer's heart, Geet Govinda, Song of Govind. Jayadev's Geet Govinda has a pan-Indian appeal and was written during the 12th century Bhakti movement. Its effect on people was so significant that this magnum opus of Jayadev has been translated into all the major languages of India over hundreds of years. Jayadev was married to Padmavati. Whether he wrote for her or for the love of Lord Krishna and Radha is still debated. But he wrote this for expressional dance is without doubt. Some say that Jayadev wrote the Geet Govinda to which Padmavati danced. Not only Indians, Europeans have been transfixed with this poetic grandeur, and there are about 20 European translations done over the years. In its original Sanskrit, the pan-national appeal can be attributed to multi-layered meaning, rich verbal imagery, and rhythmical, metrical structure. Ashtapadi is a style of poetics where a song comprises 8 couplets, and although many poets wrote in the style of Ashtapadis, the word has become synonym with Geet Govinda. Among all the known Sringara Kavyas of India, Geet Govinda, consisting of 24 cantos and 92 shlokas in 12 chapters, is the oldest and predates the musical treatise Sangeeta Ratnakara. Unlike other Sanskrit poems, which when spread to different parts of India, got translated into the regional languages, thus adding their own flavor, Geet Govinda has spread in the original form and textual modifications were minimal. Geet Govinda in Kuchipudi. The saint Narahari Tirtha is said to have brought a copy of Geet Govinda with him to the Srikakulam Matha. The dance drama Krishna Leela Tarangani, performed in the same period, is said to have made strong impression on Siddhendra Yogi, the patron saint of Kuchipudi. It is obvious that Krishna Leela Tarangani had an inspiration from Geet Govinda and related texts that expounded the Madhura Bhakti cult. Around the same period, Raja Ramananda Patnaik, after renouncing his governorship, composed the dance drama Jagannatha Vallabha Nataka, which is entirely based on Geet Govind. An interesting epigraphical information is that the king Prataparudra Deva of the 14th century, 200 years after Jayadev, ordered that the two groups of dancers, one from Odisha and the other from Telangana, would render via song and dance the Geet Govind as part of a daily ritual during food offering before their family deity at Puri, Lord Jagannatha. The initial Ashtapadi of Geet Govinda is in praise of the 10 incarnations of Vishnu or Krishna, as Jayadev puts it. Being a staunch devotee, Jayadev considers Krishna himself as the supreme personality and thus shows no difference between Vishnu and Krishna. This school of philosophy is well known as the Gaudiya Vaishnav sect, as they consider Krishna and not Vishnu as the supreme Godhead. Jayadeva has composed a shloka on Das Avatar and also an Ashtapadi on the same. The shloka is a brief description, while the Ashtapadi on the 10 incarnations are in detail. As mentioned earlier, Jayadev wrote Geet Govind with the explicit intention for performance, and it is highly probable that his wife, Padmavati, an accomplished dancer from the Andhra country, used to dance while Jayadev sang the Ashtapadis. This Dasavatara depiction of Jayadev is very popular that it is a must in every Kuchipudi dance. Also, it is equally popular among the other Indian dancers. Unlike others, Jayadev does not include Krishna as the 8th avatar and thus includes Balarama, Krishna's elder brother, as the 8th avatar. Geet Govind and Kathak. Although Lord Krishna features prominently in Kathak, few Kathak dancers have incorporated Geet Govind in their repertoire. However, it is believed that in early stages of Kathak, it was performed as a kirtan by Rasadharis, where the Ashtapadi was used. In recent years, Birju Maharaj has presented the Geet Govind as a dance drama. Geet Govind and Kathakali. In Kerala, the singing of Geet Govinda inside the sanctum sanctum of the Guruvayur temple is most likely played the pivotal role in establishing the spread of the poem. The genre of singing of the Geet Govinda inside the sanctum sanctorum of the temple is called as Sopana Sangeetam, where Sopana means sacred steps and Sangeeta means music. An obscure form of dance drama that was based entirely on Geet Govinda was the Ashtapadiyattam. Very little is known about this dance form. However, it was Ashtapadiyattam that inspired Krishnattam, another allied dance form of Kerala. The Zamorin or Zamindar of Calicut, Mahadevan, composed Krishnapadi or Krishna Geeti, that is a clever imitation of Geet Govinda. Geet Govinda is also used in the invocatory piece of Kathakali called Porupadu or Thodayam. It is also said that the king of Kottayam was also inspired by Geet Govinda and composed plays with the Sringar Rasa. Manjuthara in Geet Govinda was used as a test to the musicians, accompanied with drums and cymbals to display their proficiency. At the end, the drummers would show their skill. This performance of singing followed by the drummers is called as Melapada. Thus, Kathakali has had a reformation by the Kottayam king, is still followed today, where the performance begins with the Thodayam, followed by Purupadu and Melapada before the story is enacted. Geet Govinda in Manipuri. The Ashtapadis from Geet Govinda are very popular and still performed in Manipuri dances. Among the earliest person to take Geet Govinda to the east was Shankaradeva. Later in the 15th century, Garib Nawaz and Bhagyachandra Maharaj popularized it in Manipur. Also, the kings of Manipur, who were exiled in Assam and Vrindavan, were influenced deeply by the Vaishnava cult, and overnight they converted the Methi culture to a Vaishnavite one that is still rich and vibrant. Every village in Manipur has a Krishna temple and a Rasa Mandala or a dance hall attached to it. Female dancers perform Rasa dance to the Ashtapadis of Geet Govinda. Geet Govinda was performed both inside and outside the temple premises, and the amalgamation of the old with the new gave rise to the unique tradition of Manipur. Aribapala, Anubapala and Manohar Asahi Sankirtana traditions. Similar to the tradition in Puri, Geet Govinda was sung as part of the morning and evening rituals in front of the deity. And other form of dance performances with Geet Govinda as the theme was performed outside. Geet Govinda can have profound influence if a dancer understands the nuances of it. One such example is the incident of Professor C.R. Srinivasan Iyengar, an expert in Geet Govinda, where he recounts his visit in 1900s to Vizianagaram and witnessed a well-learned and knowledgeable Devdasi in her 50s depicting the 19th Ashtapadi as she was taught by her guru. However, she was open to his interpretation, upon which he explained the nuances of this Ashtapadi, and he could see that the Devdasi was moved beyond words. Few days later, the same Devdasi came back to him and informed him that she has refashioned the Ashtapadi and wished to demonstrate to him. C.R. Srinivasan Iyengar says that she was most magnificent. When describing the 8th couplet, she took him off his feet by doing an Ekaharya, changing characters by single performer. Depiction of Jayadev, his wife Padmavati, and Krishna as Jayadev. The story in Geet Govinda is very simple, yet it involves many layers of Naika Bheda. The story revolving around Krishna, Radha and her Sakhi is probably borrowed from the theme in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, involves Krishna's amorous relationships with gopis that leads to separation of Radha and Krishna. Radha waits at the bank of Yamuna for Krishna and realizes that he is enjoying his pastimes with other gopis of Vrindavan. Radha, still jealous and estranged, is unable to bear the separation and sends her Sakhi to Krishna, who now repents for the estrangement. This Sakhi explains the situation to Krishna and pleads him to return to Radha, as due to the viraha, she is in no position to travel to him. Come evening, Radha's viraha reaches a peak and she describes her suffering to her Sakhi. It is only in the early morning that Krishna returns and cajoles her. However, Radha gets angry and admonishes Krishna for spending the night with someone else. Yahi Madhava, Yahi Keshava is a very, very deeply touching poet compositions. Accused by Radha, Krishna leaves while repentant of his acts. At the insistence of the Sakhi, Radha realizes her mistake of folly and hopes that Krishna will return back to her again. In the evening, Krishna does return and pacifies her and agrees to meet her at the same meeting spot. Radha bedecks herself and goes to meet Krishna with her gopis. After they are in seclusion, Krishna consoles Radha for the fight and they reconcile. Later that night, they have a union, and in the early morning, Radha realizes her disheveled state and blames Krishna for it, and Krishna redecorates her with her clothes and makeup. With this episode, Geet Govind ends. Geet Govinda in Bharatanatyam, as per records in Bharatanatyam, the usage of Geet Govinda in the Margam format as devised by the four brothers called the Tanjore Quartet does not feature at all. However, the dance form has been influenced by the Radha Kalyanam Bhajan tradition. This tradition is distinct, where every year in the month of Thai or mid-January, Krishna and Radha are wedded in a ritualistic ceremony, and the Bhajan Mandala sings the 22nd and 23rd cantos of Geet Govinda. Having thus popularized amongst the masses, it was no wonder that certain Ashtapadis such as Kuru Yadunandana, Priya Charushile, Chandana Characharita, Nindati Chandana were added to the Margam repertoire after the Varnam. According to C.R. Srinivasan Iyengar, there are very few Devdasis who could handle the eroticism of Geet Govinda and depict it properly. At the same time, it was considered as the highest test of proficiency for a dancer. Any Devdasi who could do justice to the Ashtapadi was considered as a master of dance and music and had no further tests to prove their prowess over the art form. Geet Govind in Odissi. As mentioned earlier, Geet Govinda became part and parcel of the rituals at the Jagannath temple in Puri. The three types of performances were singing in seclusion in the sanctum by the Maharis, solo performances outside the sanctum involving mime, and dramatized version by the Goshti. It is believed that the dance drama Payusha Lahari by Dim Dim Jayadeva, which is based on Geet Govind, set the tone and model for the other adaptations of Geet Govind across India. The Maharis improvised the Geet Govind with Abhinaya performances having different bhavas and rasas. The current Odissi dance that evolved from the Mahari dance has Geet Govinda as the central theme, so much so that there is no Odissi dance without one Ashtapadi item. Coming from the Gotipuva tradition, where boys dress up dance as girls, Kirilipurchan Mohapatra is a world renowned to play the role of Radha in an Ashtapadi. In the words of Chandralekha, Kelu Babu doesn't remain a man when he comes on stage. He becomes Radha. It is important to mention that any audience member who has seen him performing the Ashtapadi Kuru Yadunandana cannot miss the Abhinay skills of the masters as alternating between Krishna and Radha. At once he becomes Radha in a moment. The moment he does his hair, he is a woman. The way his head bends, the way he combs his hair, especially where from Geet Govinda he does Kuru Yadunandana. As Radha, he asks Krishna to paint lotus on her breasts, and he makes you see the breast. Now these are things our people have accepted in temples as well as outside, and they understand that as spiritual or divine. There's nothing cheap about it. In addition to solo performances of Ashtapadis, Kelucharan Mahapatra has choreographed a dance drama based on Geet Govinda, where Pandit Jasraj provided the musical score. Geet Govinda in contemporary dance. The contemporary dancer Chandralekha had incorporated the Ashtapadi Priya Charushile from Geet Govinda as part of a production Mahakal in 1995, where there was a sort of role reversal employed. Instead of Krishna and Radha, it was two female dancers who enveloped each other. She says, it is very erotic, beautiful. Both have big eyes, big smiles, and their rounded bodies go toward each other as Priya Charushule continues. The audience liked it. They thought it was very beautiful.